What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Zach. Listen to me and listen to me really good because I know a lot need to hear this. Just because you go through rough times or have been through, years, even years of rough times, that doesn't mean you're always going to go through rough times. Just, think about it this way. You got to go through something rough before you go through something that's easy, and even then, nothing is easy. It's still a challenge. But a challenge that can and will be accomplished. It's going to take work, but it's going to be accomplished. But let me tell you something. You went through hell. You went through a ton of rough times. And there's going to be a lot of people. Just trust me, there's a lot of people that don't understand, the hell that you go that you've been through. They don't understand what you've been through. Why? Because it's not them. I mean, in other words, they didn't go through what you went through. Or maybe they didn't go through the same thing as long as you did. Myself included, that one. As I said, I went through heartbreak since I was 18. I mean, I went through once younger than that, but it really hit me, when I went through it, from 18 on to now being 36. But just because you go through rough times doesn't mean you're always going to go through it. Just because you go through rough times doesn't mean you're always going to go through rough times. Things get a lot tougher before it gets easier. No matter what the situation is. Whether it's, in my case, I might be trying to learn to walk. Or maybe learn to ride a bike. Or, maybe it's trying to get that first relationship. That first date relationship. But that doesn't mean, that it's always going to be that tough. Like I said, I've been through that heartbreak from 18 on to now. But that doesn't mean that it's always going to be like that. Things can change for me tomorrow. Or things can change for me today, to be honest with you. Because there is great people out there. So always remember this. Just because you went through it, whatever that situation may be, doesn't mean you're always going to go through it. Keep being you. And let nothing or no one hold you back. Yeah. Unfortunately, there's going to be people that try to hold you back, but don't let them. Keep being you. And keep a smile on your face. Something else. Just because you go through it doesn't mean you're always going to go through it. Hey, remember this. Tough times don't last. Tough people do last. So no matter what you're going through or what you have been through, keep going. Is it going to be easy? No, it's going to be a challenge. But to that challenge, I challenge you to say, you know what? Challenge accepted. Challenge accepted. I'm going to keep going and not back down, no matter how many rough roads that you have, on the other side of those rough roads are what you're after. So with that said, keep going, keep being you, and keep smiling. And another thing is, just like, the show with YouTube, and I'm still in the making of trying to turn this into a working, paying job. Because you know what? I've always wanted to have it, a paying job. And I love working with people. I love to help people. And that's what I'm always going to, and that's the way I was born and raised. No, that's not what I've been through. But that's how I was born and raised. And that's the way I've always tried to be. So when I first started here on YouTube, that was my goal. And it still is my goal today. Like I said, when I very first started, yes, I had to change content. A little bit. But, the more I saw comments saying, that I've helped this person, I helped that person, the more I thought, you know what? I'm going to keep going. Because this is what I really love doing, is being able to help somebody. Or in this case, with YouTube, millions of people, billions of people. And, like I said, you might be going through, situations, some situations I may not have ever been through. But with that said, even if I haven't been through it, a situation that you bring up, even if I haven't been through that situation that you bring up, or situations, I will still give you my advice on how I would go through that situation and how I would handle that situation. So always remember this. Again, just because you go through something doesn't mean you're always going to go through it. Sometimes some people have to go through things a lot longer than others. Unfortunately, that's 100% true. There's, like I said, all the judgment that I went through, the heartbreak that I went through. I know not everybody's like that. So with that said, again, just because you go through it doesn't mean that you're always going to go through it. Because when you go through, you get through. So keep being you and let nothing or no one hold you back. Again, if there's anything that you would like to hear, let me know in the comments and I will get that done for you. Also, when I reply to your comments and I see that you have a YouTube channel and I see that I'm not subscribed to your YouTube channel, I will subscribe to your YouTube channel as well. So with that said, keep going. And always keep in mind what I just said today. Keep this in mind. Keep being you and keep smiling. And let's get it.